Ayo.
Welcome to SCI Guys, the show where we talk about the crazy, weird, and wonderful stories of the science world. I'm Corey, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Luke Cutforth. This week we're talking about.
Talking about. Am I good? Am I doing
talking
it?
about.
Am I doing an accent?
Yeah,
It was a good one.
this week we're talking about accents.
Accents. Affect of accents. Wow, that was a mess to start this. I've got a question before we
Are you
jump.
leaving that in?
Yeah, sure.
That's a really bad Yorkshire accent of mine, and I lived in Yorkshire for like most of my childhood.
Well, it's okay. It's been saved by my perfect Yorkshire accent. And I've been to Yorkshire many times whilst driving through to pick up friends who live in Yorkshire.
And take them out of Yorkshire.
Take them specifically out of Yorkshire. Yeah, I spent the minimum amount of time possible there. No, Yorkshire is fine. I've got nothing against Yorkshire, I don't think. They do a good tea. But my question for you, Luke, is what accent do you have?
Yeah, I don't know.
Messed up one.
Yeah, it is a real messed up one. It's got like a bit of American in there sometimes.
Well, it's your mum's Scottish, I think, is where that comes from.
I think it's coming from living with Patty, actually.
Oh
I
my
picked
God,
up some of
yeah.
his stuff, and then I also came from the south, but I moved to Yorkshire, as I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up some of that, but it kind of weirdly made me more posh. I don't know how that makes sense, but like when I listen back to me at primary school in the south, I'm like, we specifically have this like recording of us singing Joy to the World, and it's like, Joy to the world. And then I go to Yorkshire, and it just makes me more neutral posh. It doesn't make me Yorkshire.
That's really weird. I don't know what my accent was like when I was a kid, but I do remember going to a nicer school, and they made me stop talking the way that I previously spoke. My family have very, very regional accents, I guess. My family have like very Dundonian accents, and I very much do not, like, at all. Like, I have to translate for people that meet my family often.
Wow.
English people, some of them.
Yeah.
And mostly Americans, when they meet my family, they just do not really know what's being said. Although, vice versa, my sibling was hanging out with Noah Fince. You know Noah Fince? Heard of Noah Fince?
I don't know the guy.
International superstar Noah Fince, yeah.
Superstar rockstar.
Yeah, rockstar Noah Fince. My sibling was hanging out with rockstar Noah Fince. And he was like, oh, you running fast? But he said it in an English accent.
Are you running fast?
Did not know what he was saying. Had no clue. And I turned around and I was like, you running fast? Because it's the fast difference.
Yeah.
Had no understanding of what Noah was saying.
See, when I moved to Yorkshire and I sound like this, weirdly they just called me gay.
I think that would have happened regardless, to be honest.
I thought it was the accent, something else.
I think it's just the whole thing, really, that we got going on there. It's weird. When I moved to Yorkshire, they started calling me Ginge, and I really think it had to do with the accent.
Must be the accent, yeah. This damn accent.
Oh no, but I've noticed you say your R's quite interestingly.
Yeah, that makes me sound. It's almost like an Irish R.
Really?
If I say Ireland, I say Ireland.
Yeah.
But I think that might be kind of American. I don't know.
I think it's Scottish. It's a rhotic R, and then this is what I found out is that I sound quite American to a lot of ears, a lot of stupid, idiotic, dumb ears. So I don't like being told I sound American, but because I've been in England for over a decade now, too long, really. And when I moved to university, they made fun of the way I said things like food and other such things. And so my accent shifted to be more English, to be more understood by the international community at my university, and also to stop them from taking the piss out of the way that I said things.
It is mad when I hear you talk to a Scottish person and you just have a totally different voice.
Yeah.
That's
what I used to sound like, I think.
It's almost like it sounds like you're putting it on.
I'm not putting it on, though.
I know, you're putting this one on, really.
I'm not putting it on, though. I'm shifting. I'm code switching.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry
you're
that
masking.
I'm sorry that I'm like a very complex, multifaceted person, Luke. I'm sorry that I have many faces to me. I'm sorry that I don't, come on, man, please stop me from doing this. You gotta
No, please continue.
No, jump in, please. Like, I was expecting you to jump in and say something.
No, so my point is that it sounds like you're putting it on. Like, because I in my head, your voice, the way I hear it, is your voice. So then when you're doing a Scottish accent, it's like, it's to me, it's like you're putting on a Scottish accent. Because it also doesn't sound like any of the Scottish accents I grew up with like my mum and my gran and my wife and all that.
Don't put me in a box, man.
You're
Except for this box that I'm in right now.
And
that
Scotland.
I'm being watched on. Scotland is not a box.
It's just a really big box.
I mean, countries aren't. No, no. We're going to do the episode, and we're going to ignore what you've just said because it's nonsense and it's just going to get us sidetracked. So, do you know what accentism is, Luke?
Accentism. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's either an autistic accent,
Jesus Jesus
or
Christ.
or it is like basically like prejudiced against different types of accents.
Okay, Luke, tell me what's an autistic accent. Give me an autistic accent. Just give me an example.
I don't have an example. I've been watching lots of Love on the Spectrum recently. There's not an accent in there, but that's just a random fact about my life.
You know, there's the YouTube accent, the sort of like,
Hey guys,
no, that's God, you are showing your bloody age there. No, sorry, the influencer accent.
What's that?
Where people talk like way too loud.
Oh.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be doing this right now today, and actually, like, it's like, you know, it's pretty fucking cool that and I'm just talking really loud, louder than you need to talk. Actually, I'm looking at this, and I'm really gonna have a bad time editing this audio because it's gonna be way, way too loud.
Mr. Beast. Behind me are 500,000 balls of uranium. Last one to die of poisoning. Radiation poisoning wins £1 million. Last one to die? No. Last one to not die.
Last one to die.
Only one to not die. It's not as good a title, is it?
The one that survives the longest will be given the world-class radiation treatment and £1 million. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not quite doing it. You know, there's also a bit of there's something else going on in that influencer accent as well. But it's just,
it's the grifting.
Yeah, it's people talking about things they know nothing about. Which of course we would never do. We'd never do that. So let's carry on.
You know a bit about it, having read about it, and I don't know anything.
I mean, I think we're overstating how much I know. I know a bit about it insofar as I'm reading what I've got on my screen about it. Is that knowing? I don't know.
That's all the BBC News presenters know when they read the news.
Actually, yeah, they just read. Like, being a news presenter is such a non-job. You just read the stuff that's in front of you in the silliest accent.
They've not even
voice
pre-read
possible.
it. At least you pre-read it because you wrote it. They're just like, the Queen is dead.
Sorry, it turns out I misread that earlier statement. The Queen is in fact not dead. The Queen has been given head. Never mind.
This is the 6 o'clock news. The Queen has a head.
How many blowjobs did Queen Elizabeth give?
I'm imagining none. I really don't think. I don't think Queen Elizabeth did that.
Come on. I mean, I wouldn't want to give the guy a blowjob, to be honest. Philip. Or Charles, for that matter.
Excuse me?
Not till you get to Harry.
The Queen?
What?
That's what?
No. If I'm talking about myself,
what are you insinuating about the royal family?
No. I'm talking about myself. I mean, okay, they're incestuous. Wow, whoa, crazy take there, Luke.
Yeah, but I don't think it's mother to son.
No, it's generally mother to cousin. But
mother to cousin.
Well, she becomes a mother, you know, via her cousin. Anyway, her cousin impregnates her.
Are you saying that every person with a child has a mum kink? It's just for their wife?
Every person with a child has a mum kink for their wife. You'd be the best person to answer that for me, Luke.
Primary source.
We're not talking about this. We're talking about which members of the royal family I would give head to.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now,
top
to
10.
Continue. No, I don't know, 10 members of the royal family. I wouldn't give it to Philip. I mean, even before he died. I wouldn't give it to, what's his name? Charles.
Okay. The king. Who I always still call Prince Charles.
Yeah, like I heard someone on the radio do that the other day. It must be so demeaning. Like, you're the king. You are, like, you know, objectively, like, or not objectively, like, ostensibly the most powerful person in the land. You, like, kind of own the country. And people still forget that your mum, like, isn't in charge. Like, that must be so annoying. And also, you're dying of cancer.
Oh.
But, like, just as soon as you get the crown, it's like, it's really bad.
Yeah.
It sucks for him, but also he's kind of a dick, so I don't really care. Wouldn't suck his.
Okay, that's good to know.
William, he just doesn't have that sauce anymore, you know? he just seems too much like an establishment boy. Harry, on the other hand, not an attractive man. Ginger. That's another element we've got to consider. Those are two separate points. You know, two separate points. I mean, Harry's all right looking. I mean, but, you know, not really. I don't know.
As long as you don't look above the forehead.
Gee, Luke, that's like the balding community deserves our
Shut up.
Okay? I will not be baldophobic because no, okay, Harry I probably would. Andrew, not a chance. Not a chance. The man doesn't sweat, okay? And he clearly likes
dry as all hell.
and he likes Pizza Express far too much. So I'd not be touching that. And those are my only two issues with Prince Andrew.
So hang on. So far it's all no.
Except for Harry.
Is there any? Oh, Harry's a maybe.
Yeah, Harry's a maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Well, I don't know anyone else except for children, so that's already an automatic no.
Okay, so all right. It's a very dry season for the royal family then.
I mean, what else is new, man? Like you just said that Queen Lizzie never gave a gobby. So, I don't know. I guess it was a dry season. Dry lifetime.
A dry 80 years.
Look, she lived so long. She was like 93 when she died. She definitely sucked a dick at one point.
Okay, let's move on from this.
We're talking about accents,
This is
Luke.
Patreon content.
No, we're talking about accents, Luke. We're talking about accents and accentism.
I wish we'd just put that whole bit of which of the royal family you'd suck off in the Patreon episode.
Why?
This is a science show, sir.
Yeah, and scientifically speaking, accentism, as it relates to me sucking royal family dicks, what does accentism mean?
A prejudice against different accents.
Yeah, well done. Which accents do you have prejudice against? Sorry, it's just the next question.
The next question.
I don't control it, man.
Do you want me to try and actually answer this seriously?
Jesus Christ,
I'm trying.
man.
I don't have consciously. I don't know, but I'm trying to think. What would I
look? If I asked you which races do you have prejudice against, would you be like, "You want me to answer that seriously?" Indian, I guess.
Which races would I give head to?
Caucasian, not at all. Never, not on your life. Okay, not a chance.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think what accents do people generally have, or do we all have a sort of inbuilt prejudice against? So I know the most obvious one that's not necessarily a negative prejudice, but it's a sort of prejudgment. Judgment. Wow, that was
prejudgment.
Prejudgment. Don't know. That was me trying to be Yorkshire. A Yorkshire man burst out of me.
Fucking Christ, mate! I don't care what you do on the weekends, right? But you do not bring it to SCI GUYS HQ. Okay, you can have whatever you want done to you outside of these walls.
So, but my point. Sorry, on Yorkshire men.
You're on Yorkshire men.
Yeah, that's also my weekend activities. On Yorkshire men, Yorkshire is it has a prejudge of it that it's trustworthy, friendly, that kind of thing. It's always used in adverts. Yorkshire tea you mentioned earlier on has that sort of and PlusNet broadband. Sorry if you're not from the UK and you're listening to this. PlusNet broadband, their slogan is "We'll do you proud."
And sorry if you are from the UK and you're listening to this, just because you know what's going on here. Sorry, look, carry on. PlusNet.
Yeah. PlusNet will do you proud.
Hey up, lad.
Yeah,
that's about as far as I could do now.
Yeah.
Oh, and they do what's the other thing Yorkshire folk do? They say the tea thing.
Oh,
yeah.
To general. No, not
Yeah.
to general. I'm going to general. No, that means I'm going to an alleyway.
Going
to an alleyway.
Going to shop.
To shop, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, that has
Who is this for?
There's a certain amount of prejudice against that, I suppose. And also probably Yorkshire has a bit of prejudice against it for not sounding intelligent because it's sort of a mining town, so it's got some baggage there in terms of being seen as working class, all that kind of
Loads
stuff.
of minors, which means they're not fully educated yet.
They've not finished.
They've not finished school.
Too
young.
Even their A levels.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone not from the UK, you should know Yorkshire is where we put all of our children.
Yes.
Yeah, hence minors. Right? I don't know. I didn't pay
I mean,
attention to history.
I don't think there are even mines in Yorkshire anymore.
And Margaret Thatcher stole the children's milk.
Yes.
And that's why the minors hate her, because
they're all children.
Yeah, because they're all kids.
And they have calcium deficiency.
From being down. Look, kids want to be down the mines and they want their milk. That's the two things that I know about children. But yeah, so this study, they wanted to look at accents and sort of how kids would look at you based on your accent.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of what biases kids had based on different accents that they heard. And in previous studies, they'd found that youths, young folk, 15 to 18 or some age range that includes teenagers and perhaps folk in their 20s. I don't remember. They saw that there was sort of negative associations with certain accents. And they kind of want to see when this whole sort of accent association started. Oh, I should have said that at the start. That should have been my, this week we're talking about accent association. But I didn't think of that.
That
So
sounds
now-
like an association of accents.
Yeah.
Like they're all
It's
represented.
just a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, true.
I like, you know when you say something that's just like, cool, conversation's dead. There's nothing else to get from this avenue. Let's just carry on.
I realised just now, actually, an accentism we both demonstrated in our last episode of SCI Guys is that we were talking about VR catcalling, right? And I definitely, and I noticed it at the time, and I went, oh, don't like that. And probably you as well, I don't know. We went like, oh, give us a smile, love. And we sort of put on a sort of like East London, sort of, I suppose, Essexy
Yeah, the
type.
dumbest accent.
Well,
I'm not
that's
saying
what
that
I don't like.
scientifically
exactly.
speaking, it is viewed as dumb.
Well,
I don't think that's true.
Yeah. So it's a sort of association between like being sexist or being at least catcalling and being number one, like from certain areas of the country, and probably also being working class. And those are all accentisms, right? That aren't necessarily true. You can be posh and also a prick.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want to do the accent now, but like, you know, an English accent, you know, like an RP.
Give us a smile, love.
Oh, give us a smile, love. Give us a smile, love.
Cheer up, it might never happen. Nice boobies.
I really wanted you to not bring that back, because on editing that episode and really watching it through, I was like, wow, this is really just making light of this, isn't it? It's not great.
Yeah, I really stuck to the nice boobies.
Yeah, and I could not cut around the nice boobies.
Sorry.
Like
They were too nice.
they were too so this experiment looked at 5-year-olds. They took a bunch of 5-year-olds from Essex, and the two research questions are as follows: is there evidence of implicit social judgments towards speakers with regional accents among 5-year-olds using a behavioral measure and an electrophysiological measure? And the second one being, do 5-year-old children show an implicit positive bias on a measure of prestige or intelligence towards a standard accent compared to their local regional accent and a non-local regional accent? So this was done in Essex. So you got little Essex kids sort of listening to a couple different kinds of accents.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just kind of testing to see, you know, how they respond to them.
Positive and negative.
Basically, smart or not smart
Okay.
was what they were looking at. So they used something called the implicit association test. Have you ever heard of that?
I would imagine it's somewhat similar to like the test you do for like, are you like subconsciously racist?
Well, I've never needed to take that test, Luke, because I'm what's the opposite of subconscious?
Conscious?
Oh yeah, I'm consciously racist. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
right.
fully. Like, there's no point of my subconscious taking that on, because I am thinking about it every moment of the day.
It's like
Should I list my top 10 least favorite races?
yeah.
I'll save it for the Patreon.
It's like that thing in The Simpsons where it like goes up to his head and there's a sort of monkey clapping with the cymbals. But if we have to your head, it's just really racist up there for some reason.
Yeah, it's a monkey clapping with cymbals, but I won't tell you what I mean by monkey.
Oh God, no! Oh. Oh.
So the accents that they were looking at were Yorkshire accent, the Essex accent, which is, you know, the kids that they had as their cohort. They were from Colchester, I think, so that sort of area, and an SSBE accent, which is a standard Southern British English accent. So kind of closer to RP. Do you want to explain to folk who are not from here?
Yeah.
And so thus probably have different crazy accents. What's going on with the whole British accent thing? Like what RP means.
So RP is like, well, it's called received pronunciation. It's kind of like Queen's English, I guess. It's like
for the gays.
Yes, exactly. It's a really camp English. It's like, oh my God. Imagine you went into like an audition as an actor and they're like, can you do RP? And you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God, Hunty. Yes. Queen.
No, so it's like Queen's English, like
Sorry,
BBC News.
I think you're going to be getting a message from an old friend, and I'll explain what I mean by that on the Patreon.
Oh, that's a flashback I did not need. Okay, yeah, that's a Patreon story, not a public story. One of the most, like stressful weekends of my life.
Are we just gonna start flogging off on Patreon, like
Yeah.
the horrible stories from your life
Yeah,
that nobody else is privy to?
monetize the trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so RP, like received pronunciation, it's sort of Queen's English. It's, at least in the past, the kind of accent you would have needed to be on BBC News, It's like very standard, but actually quite posh English. It's not really an English that most even like Southern London, like fairly like posh, well-off people would speak.
Yeah.
It's an extra level of like, I don't know if I can do it, but it is.
Well, of course. You see, the thing about a received pronunciation is it's and it's not. Even
I don't think it's that
It's
bad.
not even that, but it's quite. You gotta when you want to do that accent that I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
you got to
make
purse
your
your
mouth
lips.
smaller. Yeah.
Ew.
Well,
Ew.
it's quite nice to see. Simon Pegg did tell this story about Philip, because so Simon Pegg met Prince Philip and the Queen
Yeah.
at one of the Narnia sort of, I guess, premieres, which is crazy that the Queen used to go to film and she wore little 3D glasses on.
Yeah, she was just vlogging. Hey guys, I'm on the red carpet.
This story, he talks about how the Queen did, and she put on her little 3D glasses, and it's like you'd expect her to have, sort of jewel encrusted, like sort of like viewing binoculars or whatever, for a 3D movie, but no, just normal plastic 3D glasses. But I think it was Philip that turned to Simon Pegg because he was playing Reaper Cheap, who you'll know from the Chronicles of Narnia. He's a mouse, and he said, "When did you find out that you had the voice of a mouse?" It's just, like you can say what you want about royalty, but having a group of batshit old people that can just do and say whatever the they want, like, it's hilarious.
It just makes that like, that's like a kind of a funny question, but if it's like Prince Charles, that's so much funnier.
This was Philip at the time.
Oh, is it Philip? Okay,
yeah, so just like an old racist old dude asking you. I mean, I assume he was racist, right? That's
probably. I mean, that question kind of comes across like he's not saying that as a joke.
No, it sounds deeply serious.
It's almost like Simon Pegg just one day realizes, I've got the voice of a mouse, and then he alerts the industry. Everyone, I've got the voice of a mouse, by the way. And then they go, oh, great, we were just looking for someone with the voice of a mouse. Couldn't find anyone. We're shooting Narnia. Anyone come play?
Yeah, I mean, like up until this point, we've just been using mouse cleats.
It's going to be Alvin the Chipmunk style.
We just couldn't figure it out. That's really good. Alvin and the Chipmunks, very good, very good. Yeah, so RP is sort of like super uber posh. I mean, no one actually really uses RP.
Yeah,
I would say. And there are different sort of associations we have with different accents. To be honest, in the UK, it really is tied in with classism, where regional accents are seen as sort of more unintelligent than a sort of standard Southern accent, which is in part why I sound the way that I sound, because I had a regional accent and now I have less of a regional accent because of England.
Because you went to university.
Yeah, and private school.
Did you go to private school?
Yeah, we've spoken about why you can't be surprised.
Maybe I just tried to edit
this.
that fact out.
Yeah, look, I went to private school from the age of about 12 because my granddad suddenly got
loaded.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is the technical term for
it. Nepo baby.
I'm decidedly not a Nepo baby.
Nepo
baby. I mean, unless you can't
here.
be going out into my garden and doing some like garden work because my granddad had a farm. That's me being a Nepo baby.
Nepo baby.
Oh, no, he didn't have he had a farm where it's like he doesn't produce, this is even worse. He doesn't like produce anything of value.
Wow, it's just a hobby farm.
Yeah. I mean, now it's kind of like a petting zoo, I guess. It's weird though. It's kind of ruined me in terms of like animals.
Right.
And I'm going to quickly finish that sentence.
You want to pet them all?
No.
You want to eat them all?
No. Okay. You know that one is not true for me. I do actually want to eat many animals, but I choose not to because I'm a vegan. I'm like a vampire that doesn't drink human blood.
A woke vampire.
Jesus Christ. Look, no. But it's ruined me because if your granddad owns a farm with a bunch of animals, you just go and hang out with the animals, right? Like, you don't need to. Usually when you see a donkey, the donkey's behind a fence and you're not to cross that
So you have
fence.
no boundaries.
Yeah, I don't need to have any boundaries with animals.
Right.
Other than the animal enforced ones. Like, have you been bitten by a horse? It sucks. It's not nice. Yeah, it's not good. Don't get bitten by a horse.
Okay.
Yeah, horses are assholes. I'm going to list my top 10 farm animals.
That I want to give
and
head
my
to.
bottom 10 the top 10 farm animals that I would give head to. What's at the top of the list for you there, Luke?
Oh God. Hey, I didn't start this list.
I don't know,
I'll
man.
react to your list.
It's just so hard to choose. So I'll save it for the Patreon.
No, we're not going to discuss that on the Patreon either.
What, the top 10 farm
You can
animals?
just write that in your own time, and then
I don't want to give head to any of them, Luke. That's why it's such a hard decision, Like, it's like the royal family. Like, would you rather give head to a member of the royal family or a farm animal? It's a toss-up.
you don't have to toss. Come on.
That's a toss-off, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. That's a different story entirely. So you understand the questions that they were kind of asking in this experiment. Basically, what do kids think of accents?
Is this person thick or not?
Yeah. And so they kind of expected the kids would have a kind of like in-group bias towards their own accent. And that they might think that the Yorkshire accent was maybe a bit more friendly and a bit more stupid. Kind of like, never mind.
Not like me. Is that what you were going to say? I wasn't taking ownership over that.
Sorry?
I was just saying, what? What?
Oh, I didn't say anything, Luke. You're jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, okay, I'm inferring based on what you didn't say.
I didn't say a word, Luke.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's not a very intelligent thing to jump to a conclusion without any.
Well, I'm sorry, with this accent, I just thought.
Oh, well, you apologizing so quickly makes you seem very friendly to me.
Well, all of your assumptions have been questioned because I'm both an idiot and friendly, despite sounding like this.
Oh, God. To be clear, by the way, the associations with those accents, that doesn't mean that that's true. I feel like I shouldn't need to say it, but I will. Just because someone has an accent that you think sounds stupid, it doesn't mean they're stupid.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to say that?
Yeah. Some people are stupid.
Yeah.
And you can't tell it from their accent. It'd be great if you could, but no. Yeah, so that's what they thought would happen, that they'd have kind of they'd think that the Yorkshire accent was maybe friendly and dumb, that their accent was nice to listen to, and that the sort of standard Southern British English accent was maybe a bit more intelligent.
Oh no, I would assume totally different. I'd assume that they are actually like super judgmental of their own accent despite being it. And like just they have absorbed the cultural background of like even their own accent. They're like, oh, I don't want that accent. Kids are often quite like negative about themselves if it's that sort of prevailing view. I don't know that they're not necessarily bothered about it, but they do have the opinion.
I mean, it does say that here, that due to the particular stigmatization of the Essex accent in Britain, there's a possibility that children may have picked up on the negative associations with their local accent. However, there's also a possibility that as a familiar accent to them, they will still show a preference for their own local accent.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to give it a go at the Essex accent?
Not at all.
Please do.
No,
Luke, you're going to have to.
I don't even know where to start.
We are not going to continue until you give it a go.
Oh God. Okay. What's the Essexy
Towie.
sounding? What?
Towie.
Yeah, but I've never watched Towie. I don't know.
Yeah, nor have I.
Okay, well then,
Look
at us.
Think of Gemma Collins.
Gemma Collins, like, oh right, like Gemma Collins.
Yeah.
There we go. She like that. Well, to be fair, this is kind of like what I was saying about my accent when I was growing up. I didn't sound Essex, but relative to what I thought I was going to sound like, and relative to what I sound like now, and to be fair, it wasn't a recording of me. It was a recording of like my school. But we were literally like, joy to the world, the Lord has come. Probably because you were giving him head. It's not the Lord as in Lord Jesus. It's like one of the lower levels of the royal family.
Oh, really? Because I would suck off Jesus. That's the thing.
He deserves it.
But yeah, I mean, he absolutely does.
All that hanging on the cross.
Mostly because I want to get my dick through them handy holes. That is it. It's a bit of a quid pro quo. Quid pro quo.
Good one.
Thanks.
Yep.
I graduated summa cum laude. The cum means cum.
Oh God! We are slowly becoming such a toxic man podcast.
It's not toxic man podcast. Look,
cum.
we are reclaiming masculinity by talking positively about cum. Okay,
as opposed to all the
negatively,
all the negative talk about
all the
cum.
woman hating cum podcasts. Wait, hold on. The Cum Hating Woman podcast.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever. Both of them are terrible.
That's to be fair, like that's a lot of podcasts. Is woman hating cum podcast.
Oh, is that Joe Rogan? Is that
Yeah,
the rebrand?
the woman hating woman hating cum podcast?
That's Andrew. What's it? Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate's
Andrew
podcast.
Tate. Yeah. Woman Hating Cum podcast. Ding-a-ling-ling. Is that the ad bell?
Oh, he's following us round.
Don't you just love when people are following you? I really love when people follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and I love even more when people subscribe to us on YouTube.
I love people who do all those things simultaneously.
But look, what if I don't engage with SCI Guys on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, and I just want to use Spotify?
Well, firstly, you might in the future have an open mind. But secondly, it also helps the show get out to more people when we have more subscribers on all of those platforms, even if you only use one of them.
So if you love SCI Guys and want to see our lives thrive, then you should follow us on all of those platforms, because it's going to make the show even better and bigger for you. And us too, but you.
And us. But you.
And us. But let's get back to the show. So, Luke, in this study, they wanted to understand the implicit sort of understanding of accents, right? And do you know what implicit means in this context?
It means like it's not like stated, and it's not even necessarily conscious on the part of the person. They don't know that they are prejudiced in some way.
Yeah.
But if you ask them some carefully crafted questions, you sort of eke out the underlying accent racism inside of them.
Well, actually, no.
Oh.
Not asking questions, because if you ask questions, you're necessarily kind of bringing in conscious sort of thought there. So what they do is they had a couple pictures, and they showed a showed a sort of sound clip of a Yorkshire accent, and then they had them sort of choose whatever picture to go with it. I mean, you don't really need to worry too much about it, but what they did do was have two characters, I think called like Zorbo and Zarbo or something.
Those guys.
Let me
Zorbo and Zarbo.
was it Ziggy and Zoggy?
Ah.
So they used an IAT test, an implicit association test, and they had the two characters that they had, Ziggy and Zoggy. One was clever, and one was not clever.
How so?
So they showed a video to introduce the two characters. In the video, Ziggy is and I'll read this verbatim. Ziggy was labeled as very clever, as evidenced by the fact that Ziggy reads very well, writes very well, speaks very well, and always gets the answers right.
Hang on, speaks very well.
Yeah.
With sound?
What? No, he just speaks very. You're just told that he speaks very well.
Oh,
labeled
right. The
as,
narrator says he
Yeah.
speaks very well.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
This is for 5-year-olds.
Okay.
I'm glad that you're wrapping your head around.
Well, I just thought if he speaks very well in like a British RP accent, then that's going to somewhat skew the results.
As I said, Ziggy was labeled as very clever.
Right.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Learn to listen, Luke.
Right.
Thank you.
I love if the narrator in this thing was like, he's very clever. And then for the thick one, he's like, he's thick as shit.
He's thick as mince, love.
And it's like, how could we possibly have biased these results?
Well, no, actually, it's interesting you mentioned that, because they used a female speaker of West Coast American English so as not to prime the kids with any of the target accents.
Yeah.
So can you give me a West Coast American English?
West Coast. Is that like Californian?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm trying to think of all these LA girls.
So can I just say, I absolutely love that I have just been throwing these accents
God.
at you.
I hate this so much. Okay, oh my God.
Oh my God, because
Oh my God.
like Valley Girl. Try Valley Girl.
It's all in the throat though. Like
No, it's not in the throat. You just got a bit of vocal fry.
Okay. So yeah, it's like that, and I really don't like this at all, Corey. Can we stop, please?
Yeah, that's really
it's
bad.
really bad. Yeah, no,
that's really bad. That's about as good as the American accent in Split Fiction, that new game from the people that do It Takes Two. You should play it. It's very good.
I played 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, it's good. But the American accents in it are, I'm certain, British people doing American accents.
I don't know if I've told you about this before.
I don't know if you told me about it before.
Told you because you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to you whether we want to talk about this. The Harry Potter video game.
Yes.
Right. Which I bought secondhand, did not pay for.
I played it. I borrowed it from someone else who
Great.
Who
Look at
paid
us.
for it.
Woke kings.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Woke kings who are absolutely trying to skirt around the boundaries
of ethics.
In fairness, I did not get the Harry Potter game. You know, Noah got the Harry Potter game, so have a go at him.
He's allowed. Anyway, so yeah, I got this game secondhand, consciously, deliberately. Anyway, in this game, they did not hire a single actual Scottish person.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And my wife's an actor and voice actor, and she will frequently be in for a voice recording, and they'll just they'll finish all their lines. They'll run out. They've got some time left, and they've paid her for her time. They're like, "Can you do West Country? Can you do Welsh? Can you do Irish? Whatever." And it's clear that they were recording this thing, and they spent all their money on Simon Pegg and Amelia Gething.
Bringing it back to Simon Pegg. Cool, full circle. It's good.
Yes, definitely deliberate, and I definitely remember what we were talking about with Simon Pegg. Anyway, so yeah, and there are the accents in that video game for every Scottish character are like genuinely like offensive to anyone even vaguely Scottish.
It was like the new X-Men 97, so it's like a cartoon continuation of the X-Men 90s cartoon. I was watching it, and there's a Scottish character, Moira McTaggart, and an Irish character, Banshee. And both of them had like the worst accents you have ever heard. And I was like, do you know what? I'll give this a pass, because if I go back to the 90s version of this show, they had equally terrible accents from Americans who had clearly never set foot in either of those countries.
Yeah.
And I think it's always Scottish and Irish that really get stiffed, because even English people can't do a Scottish accent, and they'll still just have an English person do it.
I can only do my granny's accent.
Oh, yeah, go on.
No.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I really invited that. Like, I can't do any Scottish accent, but I can do my granny's Scottish accent, which she was like from up way in the north, and she sounded like
Scotland.
Stop.
That's what we call it. It's called Scotland.
Sorry, yeah, I just call it that box. So you know, the box after Sheffield. So she would go, oh, Lukey, what a wee shame. Oh, hello, Lukey. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Oh, my wee Lukey. I'm going to give you a kiss. I'll give you a wee kiss on your face. I'll kiss you in front of your friends.
That sounds terrifying. That sounds like
a little
she
goblin.
was just threatening you constantly.
Yeah. With kisses and love. That's okay. Leave my granny alone.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And she'd also say, don't you say that about Jesus. Like when I said like...
Oh, she was super Christian as well.
Yeah, she was super Christian. She was like, King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Wee baby Jesus. Don't you say that about Jesus.
Shall we get back to... I want to see how she'd react.
I'll do the rest of the podcast as my granny.
No, please don't.
Please. Oh, look. Corey.
I'm going to continue. So,
okay.
Ziggy and Zoggy, they were shown...
Ziggy and Zoggy.
They were shown a video
Aye.
of Ziggy...
Aye.
You're reaching the line, mate. All right.
Agrid, I've reached the fucking line.
You're pushing me over the fucking line.
I've been through this.
Let's not reference that, because I've watched it recently, and it is not made for 2025. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, cool.
Also, I feel like we should say J.K. Rowling, terrible person, terrible ideals, and just the worst.
Yep.
You agree?
Yep.
You approve this message?
It makes me very sad. Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. Ziggy and Zoggy. Ziggy is smart, and Zoggy is all the opposite of those things. So he can't write very well, he can't read very well, doesn't speak very well, and always gets the answers wrong. Although I notice now, it doesn't seem to have any gender associated with Ziggy and Zoggy. But anyway, so that was read out by a West Coast American English speaker. Not necessarily a Valley girl. Could just be someone from California. You know, like how do you do a Californian accent?
Don't do this.
How do you do? No, give me a Californian accent.
I don't know.
From California.
I don't know. I don't
From
pay attention
California,
to
dude. Yeah.
Oh. Wait,
yeah.
that's
like
just
the wave was like totally like fucking. Like,
that's just the turtle from Finding Nemo.
Oh, I suppose that is Crush, isn't it? Totally, dude. Like, yeah. No, I actually do know a dude.
What's really strange when you do that is you're also doing the turtle's actual face as well.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, so sick, dude. Like, those waves were stellar.
I love how the only
Totally
accents we
Ripper.
can do are like stereotypical like exaggerations of real people.
No, man, I can do an English accent.
Go on then. Go on then, please.
Hold on. Where is it? Where is my English accent? In fact, in the Patreon, I'll do the Patreon entirely.
You don't get to put all your bad accents behind a paywall.
I'll do the Patreon entirely in different accents. Okay.
And I'll do mine as my granny.
Let's see. No, Jesus Christ, I'm not dealing with that. Let's see. An English accent is let me read this out. So, In each trial, no, fuck.
That's quite good.
In each trial,
Quite
participants heard.
Heard?
Not heard.
No, that's not right.
No, I can do an English accent. I just can't do it right now on the spot. You've got me, you know. In
Well,
each
I
trial,
paid you for the
English
hour, buddy,
participants
so you're
heard
going to keep going.
heard an audio recording, which played centrally presented, distracted image, balanced between a green circle, green square, blue circle, and blue square. That's much easier, isn't it? If I just make it not an accent at all. Look, essentially, what happened is they were shown the audio recording. They heard the audio recording, and then they were presented with either Ziggy or Zoggy in the center of the screen, and then they had to press a button to indicate if that image matched the image on the left or right. So
it's
an
a
image
picture version of Thick as Shit or really
yeah,
smart.
so an image that represented clever, not clever. Basically, your 4 options were an image representing clever with a standard accent, an image representing not clever with a standard accent, and then a non-standard accent with an image representing clever, and a non-standard accent with an image representing not clever, right?
What if the accent just has the vibe of like someone a bit average?
Well, I mean, it's not really, it's one or the other. It's kind of a Boolean function here, isn't it? So I don't really know how to answer your stupid question. I'm just going to.
But I mean, like, what I mean is like,
no. When I say I'm just going to, it means I'm moving on.
Like, I don't have any association with like an Irish accent with anything to do with intelligence. Like, so if you were like, is this a clever accent or a dumb accent? I'd be like, I don't know. My association would be like, it's.
I'd say it's a powerful accent. From a strong people.
Okay. Anyway, now you've done pandering.
That's a Chinese accent.
The pandas don't watch. And they definitely don't sign up to the Patreon.
Someone's going to say that what I just said was racist, but pandas are from China, okay? That's why it's a Chinese accent.
Yeah.
No, don't just do that. Because when I say, like, I'm not being racist and you just quickly move on, it makes me sound more racist. Say that I'm not racist.
I'm not racist.
No, say that Corey, you Corey, I'm not racist.
I, Corey, am not racist.
No, say that Corey is not racist.
Well, I'm sorry, I just can't lie.
Damn it. Okay.
You yourself admitted to being racist earlier.
I didn't necessarily admit to it. I think I might have alluded to I did
make
admit
a
to it.
strong association between a certain jungle animal and a certain race.
Whoa!
You did! That's what you did!
I don't necessarily live in jungles. Some of them live in cities.
Zoos.
Some of them live in cities. They steal things. No, monkeys! Monkeys live in cities and steal things.
Oh God! I really hope that there are not people who have only ever listened to the audio of this show and never seen what we look like.
That'd be really funny. For clarification, I am the ginger one. When I said monkeys can live in some cities in the world and they steal things from people. Okay, that's what I was saying. Anything else was entirely unintentional.
Oh, God.
And just really incredibly unlucky.
You messed that up so bad.
It's not my fault that people are racist in a particular way. I am just stating a true fact. If you interpret it as racist, if anything, that just shows how racist you are for making that connection before I did.
You reacted to it before me. You reacted to your own statement. You went, oh, wait, no.
So they tested this on 17 and 18-year-olds first to see if it would work. It did work. And they had 6 female speakers, 2 from each of the accents of focus, right? So 2 Essex, 2 Yorkshire, 2 standard Southern British English. They were all 18 to 29 years old. And yeah, so they played some sentences. I don't actually have what the sentences are. But
I'm thick as shit.
No, they had specific sounds in it. So like, milk was there because it sounds different in different accents. Can you give me an Essex milk?
Milk.
Can you give me a standard Southern British English milk?
Milk.
Can you give me a Yorkshire milk?
Milk. Milk.
Milk.
Milk.
Milk.
Hey, I'm off to shops to buy some milk.
But
no, I can't do bad.
Do you know what? It's mental because whenever I'm on tour,
it's always mental. Sorry. It's mental. Is that what you said?
It's mental.
That's not Scottish. What's that meant to be?
That's just me.
It's mental.
I'm sorry that I'm not as like a perfect a specimen of
No
my
man is an island.
of my local. No, what did you just say?
What?
Oh, I thought you said no manners in Ireland.
No man is an island.
No man is an island.
No,
Okay, I
imagine-
thought you said no manners in Ireland, and I was like, why are you shitting on the Irish so much? They are a strong people.
Sure.
I like Irish people. I'm just showing them my support.
Some of them are horrible. Probably on average.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
I'm sure some of them are horrible.
Dude, I'm here uplifting Irish voices. I'm up here uplifting the Irish people and the Irish language.
God.
And you're over there saying that they're horrible people, man.
No, I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
I'm sure on average some of them are probably not very nice.
You know what you sound like?
All
you
the ones
sound like a slightly troubled Tory is what I'm thinking.
All the ones I know are lovely. I just know that probably statistically some of them are really dreadful.
Jesus Christ.
Like in a mean way, like they're rude.
You're being a horrible Irish
Stop
racist
this.
right now.
Stop.
So they used different sentences that sort of highlighted the differences between the accents, right? Bath is probably a good word to use.
Yep. Got asked to say
why is
that about 500 times a day when I moved to Yorkshire.
Say it.
Bath.
I say it Yorkshire.
Bath.
Okay, good. Good. That's fun. That's
Yeah.
nice. Can you do it Essex?
Bath. Like to be sick.
Yeah.
To bath.
Barf.
Barf.
Barf. Yo, dude, that barf was like totally gnarly. I don't even know what this accent is, man.
I love that deleted scene from Finding Nemo
Yeah.
where Crush is sick in his own face.
I mean, it's not something that couldn't happen. So they also used EEG data, little electrodes, right?
Mhm.
And I've got this quote. During analysis, 3 subjects were removed due to EEG data quality issues. 1 subject had a faulty mastoid electrode, and 2 exhibited excessive movement during the experiment. Because you're working with 5-year-olds.
That's all me. Like that's probably just me if you put me on
true.
an EEG, wriggling around.
So they started off with 29 kids, 5-year-olds from Colchester in North Essex, as I said. They had to get rid of 1 because they didn't speak English as a first language. That was kind of the main thing. They had to be monolingual, English-speaking kids. Most of them were middle class. Most of them were middle class.
Yeah.
But 2 of them were from working class backgrounds. Now, the way they figured this out was by educational attainment and occupational title. So, not the best way to figure out. No, right? Not the best way to figure out class because, like, you could be a Sparky and be loaded.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take into account your background at all.
Mm.
Weird.
Yeah.
Also, Colchester definitely the sort of posh end of Essex, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if there can be a posh part of Essex, I suppose Colchester would be. So I'm just shitting on Essex. It's really flying in the face of the point of this study. Essex is fine. I'm sorry. It's just a whole British thing to make fun of it. Because are they? What is it? They were poor, or they just have that accent?
I don't really know why.
Yeah, why does the world hate Essex?
I don't. Yeah, why does the world hate? Well, not the world, just Britain.
No, the world.
Do they?
Yeah. We did a poll.
The Zimbabweans, they really hate Essex.
They can't even stand them. Yeah. Okay. So, they started off with 29, and they got rid of 2. One of them did not have at least 1 caretaker born in Essex. Wow, that is just xenophobic. And the second one didn't speak English as the primary language at home. Again, xenophobic. I'm joking, of course. That makes sense for the study. So then they got rid of another 3 EEG results. So they had 24 EEG results. But if we look at the results in total, basically they found that they had positive associations between the SSBE and Clever on both the reaction time and brain data.
That's the Southern British.
Yeah, so the standard Southern British English. You're kind of general, the English accent that most people will try to do other than Cockney.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Americans think of as the British accent as being 2 things, maybe. Cockney and that.
Just
that
sort of
accent.
my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sort of my voice.
Sort of,
So you're
hello. Oh, I'm
Hello,
from Britain.
I'm Luke Cutforth.
I'm from England.
I'm Luke Cutforth. Hello.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what you sound
classic
like.
me.
Classic me, Luke Cutforth. Oh, I like to make videos. I'm Luke Cutforth.
I don't even know what that is anymore.
That's kind of Aussie.
Yeah.
I'm Luke Cutforth. Oh, I like to make a movie. I'm Luke. Watch my movie.
Yeah, do though. Yeah. Watch it now. Amazon Prime.
Okay, I think I did steal this from a podcast that I like, but I do like doing this for people. I have a really good Tom Holland impression.
Okay.
Have you heard it?
No.
Oh, you've not. It's like really good.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard people talk about it.
You think I've heard other people talk about? Is
Yeah,
it
I
the
do it all
talk of the
time.
town?
Oh yeah.
We're all gossiping about Corey's Tom Holland impression.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
Then. Close my eyes. Close my eyes. I'll close my eyes.
No. There's also a visual element to it.
Okay.
I'm Tom Holland. I'm Spider-Man. Look at me. I'm Tom Holland. I do a flip. I'm a Spider-Man. Flip. Tom Holland, Spider-Man. That's me. I love Zendaya. She's my girlfriend and my wife. I'm Spider-Man.
Wow, it's like he's in the room.
Yeah, right.
It's just the build-up, I think.
Yeah.
I really think, I think that you might be able to do a good Tom Holland impression.
Yeah.
If you put your mind to it.
And I can do a good
And
Tom
you
Holland
can.
impression. It's spot on.
100%.
And the Weekly Planet. That's their Tom Holland impression. But I added the build-up.
Yeah, well, you delivered. Thank you so much. What an honor.
You're welcome. It's good, right? It's a tough one to nail down.
But you got the subtlety, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Tom Holland.
I'm Tom Holland. No, I'm Tom Holland. Look
Sorry,
at me.
yeah.
I'm Spider-Man.
I overdid it.
Yeah. You gotta also say, I'm Tom Holland. I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Look at me. As Tom Holland always. Watch me do a flip. Spider-Man.
That feels like if like Tom Holland was like a guest in an episode of The Simpsons. That's what he'd be.
The thing is,
but he would voice it unironically.
Right? Yeah. I think about doing this publicly, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not really making fun of Tom Holland because it's so silly.
I think he's just so like adorably enthusiastic about everything and very British. And he is Spider-Man.
He's Spider-Man and he does do flips.
Yeah.
And Zendaya also. Right?
Yeah. You got all the parts.
That's it.
That's all of his personality traits.
That's all you need to know.
That's his Wikipedia page, I think.
It's just.
Are you reading from the Wikipedia page right
I'm
there?
Tom Holland. I'm Spider-Man. Look at me. I love Zendaya.
He really does love Zendaya.
This article is a stub. You can help by. So that was some of the results. It was a bit of a mixed result with the Yorkshire accent as well. I think I'll just read this verbatim. For the more unfamiliar regional accent, pairing Yorkshire and Clever showed evidence of some positive bias in terms of reaction time data, but evoked a very different set of brain responses compared to the equivalent comparison with the standard Southern accent. Sorry, I just feel so out of breath from all of that laughing.
All the Spider-Man jumps and flips you did as well.
I was doing so many flips.
You were.
I did
So fast I didn't even see them, but they were there.
No, whenever I did the Tom Holland impression, I do flips, and it's hard to see because to do it properly, they need to be quick little flips. Like Tom Holland.
Because he's little man.
And he's little Tom Holland. He's
That's why he's saying, look at me, because he just wanted you to miss the flips.
Yeah, don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Don't miss the flips.
I'm Spider-Man. I'm doing flips. Look at me. I'm Tom Holland.
I love Zendaya.
I love Zendaya. I love Tom Holland. Okay, but for so for the Yorkshire accent, there were kind of mixed responses. And with the Essex accent as well, there were kind of mixed responses. And yeah, basically, they kind of found what they expected to find to some degree, that kids kind of as young as 5 will have sort of judgments of intelligence based on accent, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right? Because it just comes into this class thing that we've spoken about a couple times on the podcast, where like we read, because accent's really related to class in the UK, and class is something that is just built into our society, into our culture, and kids as young as 5 can already hear your accent and be like, man, this guy's dumb. This guy's stupid.
I wonder where they get it. I mean, it must be like the type of castings we're doing for TV, things
100%.
like that. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
When has there ever been a smart? There aren't often smart characters with a Yorkshire accent.
Yeah, and anytime there's like University Challenge, they're mostly going to be sounding Southern. Not that kids are like actively watching University Challenge,
but
they might watch
5-year-olds are watching University
Challenge. But they might
Challenge.
see that sort of thing in passing and be like, "Oh, smart person on smart show," and they sound posh.
Yeah, well, think about it. Like you've got if we take Would I Lie to You, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the smart, sophisticated David Mitchell. I'm David Mitchell. Oh, look at me. I'm
David Mitchell. Look at me.
I love Zendaya. No, I love Victoria Coren Mitchell. Look at me. I'm David Mitchell. That's it, right? That's spot on.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm doing a flip. I'm David Mitchell.
I might lie to you, but I might not. The Roman Empire. Have you seen that clip of him about the Roman Empire? Where he says he thinks about the Roman Empire like 2 or 3 times a day or something? And they're like, what? And not like actively, but you see a viaduct and you think, wow, the Roman Empire.
Yeah. Look, David Mitchell, can't fault the guy.
No.
Just amazing. But yeah, you've got David Mitchell, who's, got your more standard Southern British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Lee Mack,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't have that.
He's
at all.
clanning around.
Yeah.
And is he Yorkshire? No.
I think he's Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
I think he's sort of, let's see. Let's have a look here.
Have I told you my Lee Mack story where I was, this is going to sound like I'm saying this to flex. I was sat in BAFTA. Yes, I got it in BAFTA. And I was sat in BAFTA and I was talking about how much I really like Lee Mack on Taskmaster that I was watching at the time.
Yeah.
And then I looked over the shoulder of the person I was sat with, and Lee Mack was sat on the table immediately there. Definitely able to hear me.
Yeah. Let's get you pulled on to Would I Lie to You? Like, this is Luke. He was talking about me within earshot.
Yeah. And then I said hi, and he said, "I'm Lee Mack, look at me."
I'm Lee Mack, look at me. He's from Merseyside, Southport.
Okay.
Manchester area, so
Okay.
still another regional accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So Would I Lie to You? Like, even that, Lee Mack is the kind of more down to earth, normal bloke of the sort of that show, and then you've got David Mitchell, who's the more sort of stuffy, more well educated kind of thing. Even though the both of them are very, very smart people.
Yeah,
there's sort of characters that they play into a little bit on that show.
Yeah.
But
what's so important there with Would I Lie to You? Sorry, this is very British specific.
I don't give a shit. This is it. We're only talking about panel shows.
But when David Mitchell sort of shows off a sort of like educated intelligence in the sense that he references like books and things, and he'll look. He's read books and stuff,
I've read books.
I've read
David
books.
Mitchell.
But Lee Mack actually displays a much more subtle form of intelligence, which is like on that show, he is so smart at like getting like, is he double bluffing you? Is he triple bluffing you?
Yeah.
And like emotional intelligence and like really messing with your head. Like he displays a much less obvious, but actually, I think in many ways, much more impressive form of intelligence.
Yeah, and he's also really witty as well. He's got a very quick wit, and I think you need to be, kind of smart to be a comedian. I don't think there's any good comedian that isn't intelligent, to some degree, because you need to have a very specific kind of intelligence to be funny. And yeah, but still, Lee Mack is kind of shown as being like the more working class, like dolt of that show.
But that's also he's lent
that's
into
kind of his
that.
character, yeah. But also, he's quite a well-off man who does comedy and has been on Would I Lie to You for years. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't even really fit into that mold.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting how accents affect our view of people, and it turns out that kids have that view of people from very young.
That's incredibly depressing.
Yeah, probably from TV mostly, and just media in general. You don't really hear regional accents in the news. Even they're sanded off to sound all kind of samey.
It's getting a bit better now. There's like BBC Manchester, and they're trying to be a bit more inclusive with BBC News. There's like different types of accents on BBC News, which actually I was watching BBC News fairly recently, and it actually kind of took me aback because I didn't know they'd done it. And yeah, like a very much not English British RP accent was doing, this is BBC News, and I was like, whoa, okay, this feels bizarre, but I'm here for it. Let's go.
No, because I was driving the other day in the car with Noah, and we were listening to the radio, and then the strongest Northern Irish accent just comes out, reading the news, and we are like imitating every single sentence because it's just so fun to say. It's just so fun to copy.
Yeah.
Well, no, not like I'll make fun of it. It's just a Northern Irish accent is so fun to imitate.
Oh yeah, I love a Northern Irish. I mean, I love a Southern Irish accent more, and also I just think they're just so pleasing to listen to.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I love them both.
Yeah,
absolutely. But a Northern Irish accent is fun to imitate. It's like an Aussie accent,
It's fun in the mouth. Feels fun in the mouth. Yeah,
it's got good mouthfeel. Whenever we're on tour, there's always a bunch of different accents, whether that be the Americans that we've got there, sometimes Canadians or Australians at one point, and then just the different accents from around the UK as well. So we're all constantly just imitating things that people say. It's very, very pleasing. But that is this episode. We're going to carry this on over on the Patreon. aren't we? Aren't we, Luke? On the Patreon. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Well,
there's no time, Luke. Sorry, we've got to go. It can be on the Patreon.
Please.
But before we go, we'd like to thank all of our patrons with an extra special thank you to executive producers Rev Lunar, Glitch Rabbit, and Cody Miller. And thank you for watching and listening. You can find the full references for this episode down in the description, and you can subscribe for new episodes every Monday and follow us everywhere on Patreon and merch and everything at sciguyspod.co.uk. Is that right?
sciguyspod.co.uk.
I still don't know the outro. Catch us on Patreon. You can follow me on Car everywhere. Bye. Bye?
Yes.
I'm Tom Holland. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm doing a flip. I'm a Spider-Man. I love Zendaya. I'm Tom Holland.